All right, welcome to the Coyote Radio Show and podcast. It's been a minute since we've had one of these. Been out of town working, trapping some coyotes in Texas and Arkansas. But anyway, we're back at it. We're got a packed schedule basically for the next few months. Lots of interviews coming out. Just did a great little video with Sierra. It was kind of spur of the moment. Sierra Farrell went to her show and went on her tour bus after and filmed a little segment there. So that will be out soon. Let me look at the schedule here. We also got Cole Ritter next week. We got Leroy, a Hellbound Glory. He's always a treat to speak with or talk to. The Broken String Band's going to be with us, which they're new to me, and I love them. I think they're awesome. Check out the Broken String Band. We'll be talking to them later this month. The Shootouts, great honky tonk group there. Check them out. Oh, and I just confirmed that Pete of The Devil Makes Three is going to do a little interview with us. He's got some stuff he wants to talk about. So, huge fan of Devil Makes Three. So, pumped about that. But today, we're going to talk to the front man of the Squealers, Jesse. I first met him when he was with West King String Band. I don't know. That's been a couple of years now. But anyway, bluegrass group, great live show. And now he's got a group called the Squealers, plays harmonica. It's wild. It's entertaining, energetic. You'll feel something, I'm sure, if you listen to this or go to a show. So we're going to kind of get the whole scoop about that. And we're just going to hang out and talk about music in general. He's in the Asheville area. So he's been around music for a long time. So we're going to talk to him in just a minute. I do want to say to everyone, thank you for following along, and the podcast is going great. I got a show to announce here probably in a week or so that's coming up. It's going to be on July 15th at Duke's Indy. I won't reveal who's going to be the main act and all that good stuff, but put it this way, we've got 3 acts. It's going to be a hell of a show. It's on a Saturday night. Where else would you rather be? So Duke's Indy, check them out. Subscribe on all the social media platforms if you could. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, of course, if you want to watch. And if you want to listen to us, we're on all the platforms too there. So if we're on Spotify, whatever, Apple Music, you name it. So, and we got the website, the Coyote Radio Show and podcast.com. Check it out. There's merch there. We got these cool t-shirts with the logo on it. Nice little slogan on the back about pretty much how corn dick country music sucks, to put it, lightly. And I'm selling coyote hides and coyote skull. I got a skull right here, actually. I got one of these up. There's one in stock. I got several getting cleaned up, and they're available on the website. But yeah, I think that covers it. Like I said, we've got several months of music to talk about. Lots of good albums coming out soon. We're going to start doing album reviews as well. This is a side job, but I'll do the best I can at staying active. So let's go talk to Jesse. All right, we're back with another Coyote Radio Show and podcast. Jesse's with us, the front man of the Squealers. Dude, that stuff is rocking.
Oh, thanks, man.
I think you're having too much fun, making the music, and I've seen the live show clips. I haven't seen you live yet. Well, in that group, I've seen you perform in other groups, but
yeah.
So if you would, before we get into all that, let's kind of back up. How'd you get involved in the music and where you're at right now?
For the last like 8 years or so, I've been touring with the West King String Band, playing a lot of bluegrass music and kind of like writing songs in that sort of channel, I guess. And we were like on the road real hard, and then COVID happened, and everyone sort of like had to stop where they were and settle down. So I'm living in Asheville, North Carolina, and I've been playing in bands and stuff since I was like 16, kind of just as like work and gigs and whatnot. But really, like performing is what I like to do.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, we met at the Birds Creek Festival. Holler at Kemmer. Great festival.
That is. If anyone's listening, definitely make it out to that. I'm not a big festival guy, to be honest. There's a uh, the bigger ones, you just kind of get lost out there. It's people aren't about the
Yeah,
music. It's too large, and no one can really experience the music. It's just a bunch of drunk assholes in the back.
yeah, totally.
But so tell me a little bit about the Squealers. How'd you form this group?
Um, well, for one, everyone's sitting around with time on their hands, not so busy during like COVID times. But one thing that I sort of like, um, I've always wanted to do is make what like exactly what I want to see in the world, see happen. And like been going to shows forever and go to a lot of these shows, and people are like standing around and like kind of uh sort of like numbly taking it in or something. And I wanted to kind of like shake the pot as far as like how a show can go, and using sort of like rock and roll attitude with my knowledge of music is way more in like country and blues and bluegrass music, but sort of like agitating that background, I guess, and sort of make a fun show to go to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I grew up in background in like punk and metal scene, so the crowd energy is a big deal, in that
Yeah,
environment for sure. So I could feel like with a show like yours, that would be you would feed off that easily, I'm sure.
yeah, definitely.
uh I've seen some pretty wild clips. He's like chugging beers and spraying everywhere and belly crawling and getting down.
Yeah, yeah. The belly crawl is the new dance that's sweeping the nation. To be the first kid on your block to do the belly crawl.
That's a good song. It's a fun song. I feel like if I was in a band, I would be want to be in a band like that. You know, way more having more fun than anything.
Yeah, and I mean, I love like songwriting and Americana music and stuff, but um, sometimes it seems like the latest trend is it's like a contest to see who can feel the most sorry for themselves, and I feel like which is good and fine, and like good art and poetry comes out of that, but at the same time, I feel like it's good to sort of take the belt off and bust loose.
Yeah, everything doesn't have to be so serious all the time. You know,
Yeah.
I get that. Uh, so when did you start playing harmonica?
Um, Sort of when I was like 16, but I really started taking it more serious in the last few years, and sort of studying. I got a couple lessons from JD Wilkes a few years ago, who's he plays in the Shack Shakers, and they're definitely like a big influence of mine. I love how he sort of what he does with music, the decisions that he makes, I guess.
Yeah, he's
JD
definitely
JD that is.
he's such a great entertainer for sure. He's been on the show. I
Oh
love
hell yeah.
love the Shack Shakers.
Yeah.
I can hear that in your music. I can hear the influence for sure. Uh, so are you just playing shows around town? Are you taking this on the road, or what's the kind of the big plan for it all?
Mostly we're actually almost done booking a tour in Europe for August. So we're gonna fly over there and give a hell, I guess. Hopefully it's all like starting to come together, and then if it's worst comes to worst, we'd have to like push it back or whatever. But I have a friend over there that does booking and has all the gear and stuff. So we just have to like fly and hop in. We're
Yeah.
booked for this like Wild Rooster Festival in Holland and some other Broken Neck Festival or something in Belgium, I think. Then just some bars and stuff around.
That'd be awesome. It's quite the experience. Are
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm like super excited.
you
And
going to
then
be? Go ahead.
go ahead, you go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you were going to be at Birds Creek this year.
um, I don't think so. I think that's like right when we're leaving
Okay.
is like that week. We're doing this festival. There's like they're calling it AVL Fest, and I think it's kind of like a South by thing that they're doing around here, like at all the venues and whatnot. So we're playing that on the 4th, and then I think we fly out on the 5th, or we play that on the 3rd and fly out on the 4th. I think is where
Okay.
that's what the plan is as of now, but I guess things always happen or can.
Yeah, we got a little time till then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I could only imagine just flying over and doing a festival or two or whatever. That would be amazing. Just to
Yeah.
experience that. Um, so what else as far as other influences? I mean, we talked about the Shack Shakers. What else are you drawing from? Is there any particular band or name that you can?
Um, well, my favorite music at this point in my life is, or my favorite musician is, I love Little Walter right now, who's like sort of invented um, like the amplified, distorted sound of like playing through an amp, like playing beyond the limits of an amplifier and sort of like experimenting with that. So that's definitely a major influence, and that's just more like basic blues and stuff. Honestly, I listen to mostly old bluegrass music and blues music. Um, I guess my main influence is like what I like don't want to be.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to. I mean, I feel like 90% of the people I listen to are all dead people from like blues and
Yeah,
bluegrass
yeah.
from way back when. Uh, I don't know. Who's your favorite bluegrasser?
Oh man, probably Jimmy Martin. I
Yeah.
mean, he the self-proclaimed king. There's this guy Dave Evans. He's like a banjo player and a really good singer from Ohio. He's kind of like flies a little bit more under the radar, but he's amazing. Um, I like the dirty stuff. Like I mean, Tony Rice and the album band and all that stuff is great, and I love it. But something about like this old like where people they didn't know what they were doing and they're sort of pushing their limits. Like Bill Monroe on the banjo on the mandolin doesn't sound great necessarily to like someone that's like a virtuoso today. Like they can play all clean. It's very like scratchy and
Right.
sort of like aggressive and like so I always love that kind of stuff. And like Jimmy Martin, like he either had the best timing in the world or he couldn't keep time and his band had to just follow him wherever he was at, which I think is a cool place to be.
Yeah.
Um,
What about blues? Who's your top
my,
guys in that?
my favorite blues players. I love Slim Harpo. He's like a Louisiana dude. He wrote the hip shake, do the hip shake, baby.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's just like his lyrics are kind of like they're pretty provocative, and same with Little Walter, like very sexual and fucking and like aggressive. Um, I'm sort of I like the earliest of electric blues. I like Dr. Ross, the harmonica boss. He's one of my favorites, and then I listen to a lot of jump blues too, like some like Magic Sam stuff like that, some Sun Record stuff.
Okay.
Um,
That's good. There's a few
yeah,
names. There's a few of those I don't know, so I'll definitely be going down the rabbit hole later.
yeah,
I love finding new music or stuff I've never heard before.
oh yeah,
That's what this whole podcast is about, really.
sweet.
So, what else has been happening in your neck of the woods?
Oh man, well with the Squealers, we sort of just put our album out on Halloween and this last year, and sort of just wanted to see where that could take us and kind of try and book some shows. I'm not really like I work as an upright bass player. That's like my day job. Like I play with Vaden Landers and with the West King String Band and a few other bands around town. So I kind of like I try and just keep to doing sort of like special shows with the Squealers and not really wearing it out,
Mm-hmm.
because it'd be easy to easy for that to get old, I guess, around town. It's like, oh great, that dude like jumped on the bar and kicked shit over again, whatever.
I love Vaden.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I actually just booked him. This hasn't even been released yet to the public, but he's going to be playing here in Duke's Indy on July 15th for a show.
Nice.
So him and Jason Day West and Nolan Taylor. So
Cool.
quite the lineup.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to go on tour with Vaden and Andrea and Mud.
Well, who?
Andrea and Mud. It's
I
like
don't.
they're like kind of a sort of like spooky surf kind of Western band from Atlanta, but basically it's like Vaden and Andrea and Mud's tour, and then a drummer and myself are just backing both bands up. So we're like doing that this coming weekend. I guess we leave on Wednesday. We're playing like Birmingham, Monroe, Louisiana. I forget where else we're going. I'm just hopping in the
van. wherever the road takes you.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That you're versatile and, play along with whatever.
Yeah.
So I know you play the bass. We talked about the harmonica. What else is in the loop that you can do?
Oh, well, I definitely don't consider myself a guitar player, but I do use that instrument to write songs. So occasionally I'll play just a show just under my name, Jesse Harman. I did one the other night. There's this like thing called Open Folk in Asheville, and it's like a weekly thing where they get everyone to come out, and it's like a seated show where it's like mandatory that there's like silence, in the room. And so I like do some shows like that every once in a while, just sort of for my own like satisfaction of getting songs out there. And those songs are more like a lot of like talking blues and kind of try to be like funny and stuff. And yeah.
Yeah. I have not been, I've drove through, but I've never actually like been in the scene in Asheville area or been to any shows in that area. But I know it's rich in it. I like exploring different,
Yeah,
avenues.
It's an awesome music scene here.
What kind of what's some of the venue names in that area that are known?
My favorite places to play are the Gray Eagle, and there's this little tiny bar called the Double Crown where they do like a Wednesday night country night, and everyone in town really shows up for that, and people dance and stuff, and that's a good time and spot. There's the bigger acts come to the Salvage Station or the Orange Peel. Those are both great venues. The Salvage Station's like outdoor right on the river, so there's some cool shows there.
Okay. I know about the Gray Eagle and Orange Peel, but that's probably about the extent of it for me in that area.
Yeah. The Gray Eagle is it's great. It's just a classic room, like, and that's probably the place that books most of the bands that are on your show that come through town, because it's not like a huge place as far as packing it out. It's like they can get smaller stuff, but then there is very successful people that come through, and it's just awesome. And those guys are cool because they'll just put whoever up there, like they're kind of cool about getting local bands in on a bigger bill,
Yeah, get them some exposure.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Would it probably hold like 200 or so?
I think more than that. I really don't know. Maybe 300.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great
They do all
site.
kinds of different stuff. They'll do seated stuff. Like I know Vaden played there the other night with Matt Heckler. And I think that was like a seated show. And I don't know, they probably didn't sell 200 tickets for that, but it's like, they kind of change it up.
Yeah. Yeah. If I make it out that way, definitely catch a show.
Yeah. You got a spot to crash here.
Yeah.
I'll pan around my house. My house is kind of funny. We got the neon signs, and there's your Bobcat and shit.
That's awesome, man. Yep. Mine's starting to turn into a zoo.
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm working on a studio outside. Well, it's an old hog barn actually, but I'm converting it, and it's gonna take all damn summer. But once it's done, it'll be basically I'll never leave there. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, and just recording bands in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably start doing the podcast in there, and might get some mics and do some more like video work, a little bit nicer setup. And I might put like a small little stage in the corner if I want to have like a little, a small intimate show for buddies to hang out
Yeah,
at or whatever. So should be pretty cool little space to
yeah,
work in. Yeah,
yeah,
you'll have
yeah.
you'll have to come play it then.
That's right.
Get
I
this.
want we meet Vaden and I have talked about doing like a tour where we book the Squealers and Vaden, because it's kind of like we're opposites in certain ways, but we work the same sort of way. Like Vaden doesn't give a fuck, and like I don't give a fuck. Like he gets up there and plays his kind of music to who, like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He's gonna do what he wants to do, and I'm sort of the same way. We both kind of have the same like sort of punk rock attitude without being like I'm
Yeah.
a punk rocker, you know.
Yeah, you don't like judge the bill, like, I don't think my music would fit in there and not do it.
Yeah, yeah. No,
No.
we do, and have a lot of fun. And so sometimes I'll use we'll do a show together and use the same drummer or whatever, kind of like efficiency thing. Sort of like
Yeah.
what I'm doing with him and Andrea and Mud this next week.
Yeah. Man. I don't know if I'm pretty sure Vaden when he comes up in July that he's coming solo, but jump in with him.
I wish I could.
Yep.
I think I'll be with West King String Band that week. Anyway, it's a nightmare trying to juggle everything, like playing with different people that are all busy.
Right. Constant juggling act, I'm sure.
Yeah,
How's West King doing as a whole? You got the
we got an album recorded, and a new music video that we just got a rough cut back on that looks awesome. It's pretty cool, and we're sort of just waiting to. We just want to get it out the right way. Everything we've always just slapped it up on Spotify and YouTube or whatever, and
yeah.
like, but we want to try and get some good press or whatever. We haven't put anything out in years, and it's just like we just sort of wait until we, because you meet people and see how other people do things and what works for them. And like we started playing when we were like 21 and 22. It's just like we record everything in the living room, just like put it up there and start booking shows, and played every damn pizza place and bar all over the fucking world. So it's like,
That's awesome though.
yeah,
I love it like that. I love that edge to, just like
yeah,
you were talking about, like it doesn't have to be like super crisp and like perfect all the time.
right. And
A lot of
Jack's
studio.
playing. Go ahead, dude.
I was
Sorry.
just saying a lot of studio albums, like, you'll listen to a group or a band and, some of their stuff is done and cut at home or whatever. Then they kind of make it or whatever, and they go and do some fancy studio record. It's just like not the same. Happens all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I always respect bands that stay true through their, it's one thing to like change and have a different sort of like goal with an album or something, but sometimes it just gets completely like muddled or something.
Well, I just feel like people, it's almost like they try too hard or
Yeah,
they overdo it. They do too much or get excited about the project because it's, something new, and then they just kind of overdo it.
yeah.
But
There's tons of musicians that sound fine just by themselves, and then they like think that they need to get this huge band. Like a lot of country singers are like great if they just have like a bass, a drum, and maybe like a lead guitar. It's like all they need, and they'll get these huge bands and all this like 3,000 instruments on stage or something, and it's like,
fucking
which is great,
symphony.
yeah, which is fine, but it's like all that. I feel like a good musician, when it's like just the act's name on a billboard or whatever, like they can usually hold their own. Like you don't need all that shit, like all the extra shit.
Yeah.
It's like Jack, who plays guitar in the West King String Band, he's playing with Nick Shoulders on a bunch of tours, and it's like they keep it just raw dog, and it's cool. It's like you don't have to worry about that getting messed up. That's like with Vaden and with the Squealers. It's like we got a lead guitar, a harmonica, and then just drum and bass, and that is about it that we'd ever like need up there, because it's so spastic anyway. It would just
Yeah, and a megaphone. You need
yeah. Oh yeah.
Man. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention I like the cover art to the record too for the Squealers.
Oh yeah. My girlfriend made that. The fist whistle being held by the whistle pig. That's where we got that, I guess.
Yeah, it just stuck out to me. Yeah, hopefully things go well for you, man, and that gets out there even more, and take it on tour. I would love to see you in my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
If
man.
not, when I do my little travels, I'm usually definitely looking for local spots for shows or whatever, and I keep a few on my radar. So,
man, I was talking with Coleman, dude. We played this house show one time, and Coleman, you know him, Foreign
yeah,
Strange Band.
yeah, I'm good buddies with Cole.
They were over at my place in Asheville, and we ended up talking. He was like, "Dude, we should do some shows together." But like, I dislocated my shoulder that night. That was like the first time we really hung out, because I knew the girl he was dating at the time. I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "We're in Asheville." I was like, "Yeah, come over." Like, we're playing like a house show at my house with some bands. And I dislocated my shoulder. Like, it snowed like 8 inches or something that night. And then I'm like laying on the floor, like playing the harmonica with my shoulder out of socket. My friend Christina like put it back in. We like finished the show, and then like Coleman ended up like staying over or something, and we were like talking. It was like, dude, I want to try and get some shows with him or something, or maybe when they come through Asheville or whatever. But
yeah,
like I said, I'm not trying to like force it in any way, I guess. With touring to, I've done that so much, like going and just filling dates on the calendar, and you end up playing some Monday and bum fuck for like $100, and it's like, I can't be dragging these grown ass men through this. Like,
yeah. Coleman, he's a good buddy. He's stayed here before crashing the couch before.
Oh, nice.
When he came through with his band. Yeah, I could definitely see you guys touring together. That'd be a great little lineup.
Yeah.
We'll have to. Wouldn't take too much convincing to make it happen.
Yeah, no, he's a super nice dude. And
oh yeah, he's supposed to be coming back here in May with the goddamn Gallows.
So, oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Which will be interesting because like the place they're playing it used to be more like just traditional honky tonk. Then the owner passed away during COVID times, not from COVID, but since then they've kind of opened it up more, and there's a little bit of variety in there.
Is that Duke's?
Yeah, and have so to have a band like the goddamn Gallows in there ripping the place apart, it's quite a statement compared to where it was years ago. But yeah, and they're booking like pure metal shows too, actually, on some nights. Folk music, honky tonk. I haven't seen too much bluegrass in there. I'm gonna have to start working on them, get some bluegrass in there. And they're letting me start to book a few shows here and there for fun. So
cool.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's about all we got. Where you're from, you got a couple spots to go to. We have like 2 that are worth a damn anyway.
Right. Someone was asking me earlier, or someone was like, people, it just came up in the conversation, like people like complaining about the music scene in Asheville, and I'm like, dude, this is like better than most places you'll ever go. Like, there's like music every night, and if you're a working musician, like most places aren't afraid to pay you, and it's like, and then they're open. The thing that I like about here is like you go to like New Orleans, and there's like the New Orleans sound, and like Nashville has like the Nashville sound, and even like the different towns around here, like just like Galax, Virginia is like an old time fiddling town. You know what I mean? But Asheville doesn't really have. I mean, there's a lot of bluegrass history and stuff. It doesn't really have like a Asheville sound that's trying to be like emulated or perfected or what have you.
Yeah,
which I dig, and that's sort of the Squealers sort of is lucky for that reason, I guess. To like people are pretty open to that sort of experimentation in terms of like genre.
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't really thinking about it like that. And of course, Texas has its own circuit. There, I mean, there's plenty of musicians that don't ever have to leave Texas and have a fine living in life. You know. I don't know, man. I'm all over the place. One minute I want to be somewhere doing something, then over somewhere else. So I can't just mix it all up at this point.
Mm-hmm.
in a tasteful manner, but
yeah. You live in Indianapolis?
The outskirts. I'm on the south side. I'm more in the rural area.
Nice. The only time we were ever booked to play a show with West King String Band in Indianapolis. I forget what the fucking place was called. It's closed now, but it had closed like a night or two before we got there. We like rolled into town, like we didn't have any place to stay figured out or whatever. Like we like pulled up to this like place and it was like closed. We didn't get an email from them. I forget what venue it was, but it was like we laughed about that shit for a while. Like we ended up going to some bar that had a karaoke or something and getting a hotel. Or we were like, damn, like, and we had been staying with a friend in Columbus, Ohio, I think. We could have like ended up just killing a day or two there, but it was like we drove to Indianapolis for like wah wah.
What the hell? I'm trying to think what was closed.
I don't know.
And it was just, you know what part of town it was? Was it on the south side, or you don't know any, or can't remember the details?
I'm sure I could look it up and like find a poster from years ago or something, but
I don't know well, if you come across it, send it to me later, because now I'm curious. Yeah. Most of them I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean anything. Emerson Theater might be one. They've changed hands so many times. In fact, the place is for sale right now.
It was not a theater.
Well,
it was some type of DIY spot, I think.
That's what this is a theater's loose term. I mean, it used to be like it used to be a theater where they showed porn flicks, but they teared out all the seats and built the stage in there, and it's been like that for years. But it holds quite a bit. But they just play a lot of local. It's in a rough part of town. A lot of metal shows and punk shows happen there. And whoever took it over now recently, it's more been like rap music than anything else. But they're selling it.
Nice.
So if anyone wants to donate, let's buy this place. Hit me up. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of old fiddling competitions and stuff and Galax, I'm planning on trying to make one of those this year.
Oh, you should.
What do you think's the best one out there?
I mean, Galax is cool. You're not supposed to drink, so it's kind of like this like funny thing.
I read about that and I was like, I don't know if I can go there.
Cliff Top's pretty cool. There's a bunch that I haven't been to that I want to check out. Like in North Carolina, there's a few. There's the God, why isn't the name escaping me right now? Like in the eastern part of the state. I'm digging on my phone right now to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's always been a toss up between either the Cliff Top or Galax. But it'll probably just be the one that fits my schedule the best.
Mount Airy. It's like right near Galax.
Oh yeah. Okay, yep. That's the other. Those are probably the three main ones out that way, I think.
Yeah, and they've been running for a while. All of them are like pretty old.
Yeah. There's another one. It's Fiddle Convention. They have one here in Indiana, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel true to the roots of it.
Yeah.
I think it's just some, I don't know what it is. To be honest, I went, but it wasn't like what anything I expected.
And
Um,
I went to John Hartford Fest one year with West King String Band, and that was pretty awesome. I mean, it was like very, you could tell it was like run by hippies, but like the just like scene of people jamming around in the campgrounds was awesome.
yeah,
Uh, which is what I love, and that's where you like learn that kind of music and how to. That's where you really learn songs and learn what other people do. And I don't know.
right.
You learn all the stupid banjo jokes that people say.
Oh, great. Yeah, John Hartford. They moved that festival. It was. I mean, I live 30 minutes from, probably closer to 40 minutes from where they have that.
And
Um,
Bean Blossom,
yeah, I'm north of Bean Blossom, about 40 minutes.
nice, cool.
So, but they've moved it since then. I don't remember where they went. It went further west somewhere.
Hmm.
But someone took over that campground too in Bean Blossom, the Bill Monroe campground, and they now host several festivals, and they have one called like the Americana Bean. There's a blues festival, which is supposedly like, I haven't been to this one, but they say it's the largest gathering of harmonica players in one setting.
Well,
You can imagine
sounds annoying.
once. Yeah, I
It
was
sounds
gonna
annoying.
say. I was like, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but they
You get
advertise it that way.
you get tired of anything, I guess. But the old time fiddle players, they go all night playing like. So someone described it to me as hillbilly trance before, and I was like, I can get behind that. It's like it doesn't really get old, you know. Sometimes walking around Nashville, you hear a steel guitar come out of every door. You're like, oh, get the steel guitar out of like, there's too many steel guitars. Every single door is like,
See, I don't have that here, so it's like when someone comes and they have a steel player with them, because it's hard to, that's an extra, to
yeah.
bring an extra guy on the road.
Hmm.
So I'm always tickled to death, like, oh yeah, man, they got a steel player tonight, Uh, that, and then I love banjo. I don't think I'll get sick of that really, but um, yeah, the largest gathering harmonica. I don't know. That might be that might be the icebreaker right there.
Yeah.
They
I,
do.
I
Have you been to the Bill Monroe Festival there?
I have not. Just the John Hartford one that one time.
Yeah, they've tied it into. They used to do the Uncle Pin days, so it's like two festivals into one now. I think.
Cool.
I think that happened because of COVID, so they just stuck with it. I'm not really sure 100%. Don't quote me on that, but either way, both shows are great. They usually have a decent lineup and throw some old school guys in there too, and
Nice.
some newer age stuff. Like Larry Sparks and stuff like that. Current. I
Yeah.
met Ralph Stanley there a couple times back in the day, and that
That's cool. I got to see him at Muddy Roots one year. Uh,
oh yeah,
and that was pretty badass. They had like Black Flag and like Del McCurry on the same festival that year or something like that. I was like, that is a cool scene. You ever been
it's
to Muddy Roots?
oh yeah, man. I've been like 5 times.
Nice.
I was there last year and the year before, and I think I might go this year too. Uh, they just got the craziest lineups, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, yeah, the Shack Shakers will be back this year. And like
Yeah.
Guar, they got Guar this year, so everyone's gonna
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
sprayed with blood out there in the muddy fields. That's gonna be wild.
Oh yeah. There's some cool bands that I found at Muddy Roots. Like there's that band, the Howland Brothers. You see them at Birds Creek?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
They're
They
great.
yeah, those guys are awesome. And some band called Heavy Trash. You ever listen to them?
I
It's like
don't
a
know that
two
one.
piece that like kick drum shit, but the dude like it's just really dirty music, like kind of rockabilly ish, but whatever, like
Yeah.
just like sounds like it's played in a tin can. It's like some bands sound so bad, and I think that's like one of the things that the Squealers is like sort of trying to do, I guess, is like it's so bad and abrasive that it's like good. You can't like help it. It's like
Yeah.
it's I guess the like the goal.
Especially like in a live setting.
Yeah,
I think that's for me. I'm just such a live junkie. Uh This is the best way to experience any band before you make the final
Yeah,
judgment call if you like them or not. You can't
right.
just listen to one record and be like, I don't know. I'll go see them. Go see them live and see.
Yeah. Yeah, my capacity to like appreciate and enjoy music is definitely way wider of a range at a live show. Like if I see a band, like I might listen to their record and hate it, but then I'm seeing them live and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like just because it's like you can actually tell what's happening or whatever, and
Hmm.
you can you know that they're actually going through the music as they play it rather than sat there
Right.
and whittled it down and perfected it over the trial and error or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, man, um, anything else we should talk about before we sign off here? It's been
That's
great
probably
just sitting here chatting, man. Spread the
yeah,
word
hell
about the
yeah.
Squealers.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I guess if anyone's made it this far in the interview, check it out. You might not like it, but hopefully it makes you feel something, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna make you want to dance and do a belly crawl across the living
The
room.
belly crawl. Yeah, that's right. And come do a show. We're well, I just post all that stuff on Instagram. Really is the only um, platform I use. It's like they tell you get a website and get a Facebook and everything. It's like I don't, I'm just doing one thing. So anything that we're doing, they'll be on the Instagram. The Squealers Band.
Nice. And I'll be sharing. When you guys come out with stuff, send it my way, and I'll post it. So,
Sweet. Hell yeah. Yeah, we're working on some new stuff. We're kind of just like I think we we grinded out the first album and play some shows and sort of let the songs add up until we get back in again. It's we're a pretty easy band to record because we're just like constantly fucking up the whole time. Like the whole live show is just a giant mistake. So it's like you just like get in there and do it and stop.
it's like artistic performance. It's different every time. You know, it's more
Yep.
about the ride than anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, all
Yep.
right, buddy. Well, we'll be in touch, and hopefully see you in Asheville at some point.
Yeah, man. Holler at me if you're ever coming through, and good luck. Happy hunting. I know you're a hunter. I am as well. Or
Yeah,
you're a trapper.
both and
Yeah.
fish.
Well,
A
nice.
little bit of
Yeah.
whatever the season's doing, really. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Come this way. We'll go fishing.
oh hell yeah, I'm dying to get out now that the weather's starting to turn a little bit. So, all right, buddy. I'll catch you
Later.
later.
Later. Thanks again, dude.